It's time now for the Muletrain News Program on this Wednesday, October the 29th, 2025. Brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. Church service for Orvdie, Burris, 91 of Muleshoe was held yesterday afternoon at the Muleshoe Cowboy Church with Steve Friskup officiating. Burial followed in the Beene County Cemetery. She graduated with honors at 11:16 p.m. on October 24th, 2025 in Lubbock. She was born August the 7th, 1934 in Needmore to Ernest Leroy and Esther Askew Magby. She married Bobby Verldine Burris in Portales on February the 18th, 1950. Orvdie was a woman of deep faith and loved her Bible and singing gospel music. She enjoyed crocheting and making scrubbies for everyone. She was also a great cook and baker. Orvdie enjoyed traveling with her family as well. Her smiling face was a familiar sight at the senior center where she was loved by all. Orvdie loved her family deeply. She was a member of the Muleshoe Cowboy Church and the Centerpoint Church in Muleshoe. She is preceded in death by her husband, Bobby, two sons, Randy Burris and Ernest Burris, her parents, two sisters, Vanita Parrish and Almora Busby. Orvdie is survived by one son, by her son, Orvis Burris, and his wife, Sharon of Muleshoe, her daughter, Paula Torbett, and her husband, Bill of Santa Ana, Texas, her daughter-in-law, Wendy Burris of Lavernia, Texas, and her precious 16 grandchildren, 26 great-grandchildren, and 6 great-great-grandchildren. The family suggests memorials be sent to the Muleshoe Senior Center, P.O. Box 292, Muleshoe, Texas 79347. Online condolences can be made at www.ellisfuneralhomes.com. And repeating, church service for Orvdie Burris, 91 in Muleshoe, was held yesterday afternoon, Tuesday, October the 28th, at the Muleshoe Cowboy Church. Burial followed in the Beene County Cemetery. Please keep the Burris family on your prayer list today. Graveside service for Patsy Ellen Weeks Beene was held last week on Wednesday, October the 22nd at the Muleshoe Memorial Park with Benny Baker officiating. Pat died on October the 18th, 2025 in Amherst at the age of 91. She was born March 13th, 1934 at home in Garza County, Texas as the youngest daughter of William J. and Mary Lee McNabb Weeks. Pat graduated as the valedictorian of Morton High School in 1950 at the age of 16. She attended Eastern New Mexico University, where she met the love of her life, Eddie Wayne Beene. They were married October the 5th, 1951, moving to Needmore in Beene County. They lived there in their home for 67 years. She and Eddie were the proprietors of the rural grocery store, Eddie's Food Market, a familiar stop for those working and living in South Beene County for more than 30 years. Reading was her passion. She loved quilting, crosswords, puzzles, music, playing bridge, sewing clothes for her children, and watching sports with Eddie. Pat also loved to laugh and often had a witty remark to bring a smile to any occasion. She taught her children to approach life with humor and kindness and to value education and family. Her philosophy was that wisdom comes from a lifetime of listening and reading when others would prefer to talk. She is preceded in death by her husband, parents, 3 sisters, Winona Orr, Mary Jean McClintock, and Margaret Ann Webb Saunders, and a son-in-law, Gary G. Elliott. Pat is survived by 4 children, Dennis Beene and his wife Deborah of Amarillo, Mary Catherine K. Elliott of Needmore, Laura Buckner and her husband Lindsay of Midland, James Larry Beene and his wife Patsy of McKinney. She loved her grandchildren, Susan Allen and her husband Wes, Brian Beene and his wife Amber, Dustin Elliott, Darren Elliott and his wife Amber, Jody Seal and her husband W.O., Megan Ensweiler and her husband Tom, and John Buckner. She was also blessed with 12 great grandchildren. The family suggests memorials be sent to the Muleshoe Memorial Park Cemetery Association, 310 South Main Street, Suite 101, Muleshoe, Texas 79347. Online condolences can be made at www.ellisfuneralhomes.com. Please keep the family of Pat Beene on your prayer list. Again, her graveside service was held last week on Wednesday, October 22nd at the Muleshoe Memorial Park. Well, it is the bye week, finally here toward the end of the season for the Muleshoe Mules varsity football team, as they have had a pretty tough run of it the last 2 games in the district. They started off district play with a big overtime win over Roosevelt here at home. And since then, they went to the War on 84 over in Littlefield and lost 26-50. And then last Friday night, lost here at Beene Douglas Football Stadium to Slayton, 21-41. You can see the full game broadcasts of those on the front page of our website, muleshoetv.com today. And this is the bye week for the Mules and other District 2 3A Division II action. This Friday, October 31st, Roosevelt will be at Littlefield at 7 p.m. and then Idalou will be at Slayton at 7 p.m. Looking at the district standings, Idalou is first in the district at 2-0 and 5-3, and that's who will be the opponent. Will be on the road next Friday, the first Friday in November at Idalou. Slayton is second at 2-0 and 7-1. Littlefield is third at 1-2 and 7-2. Muleshoe is fourth at 1-2 and 3-6. Of course, Littlefield owns the tiebreaker on us as they beat us earlier. And Roosevelt is in fifth place at 0-2 and 2-6. Do remember, though, they take 4 teams into the playoffs, so Muleshoe can make it in the 4th place in District 2, 3A Division 2. You don't want to be there because you'll match up straight in the by-district round with the better team going into the playoffs. So we'll see what happens, and hopefully Muleshoe can win their last game on the road against the Idalou Wildcats. That will be next Friday next week. There are some other things going on sports-wise at Muleshoe High School as the basketball season begins for the girls, and they will have their first scrimmage that's coming Saturday morning at 9 a.m., and they will be on the road at Morton. It will be the JV game first, and then varsity Lady Mules basketball scrimmage beginning at 9 a.m. this coming Saturday, November 1st at Morton. Then a big good luck goes out to the Mighty M Marching Band, and they will be in area competition at 2:30 this Saturday, November the 1st at Lowry Field in Lubbock. So good luck to the Mighty M Marching Band. Make sure to go and watch the Muleshoe versus Slayton game. Get to the halftime as we show both the Slayton and Muleshoe high school bands and their marching performances in their entirety. And both of them are excellent. Muleshoe has a very, very good halftime show this year, and you can see it in its entirety on during the halftime show of the Muleshoe versus Slayton football game. Well, it is Halloween week here, and lots of things going on for trick-or-treaters. Take your kids, especially tonight on Wednesday, October 29th, for the Harvest Festival, sponsored by the First Baptist Church. It's in their Activity Center, youth center there over at 219 East Avenue B. They block off that whole block just on the east side of Avenue B, that first block there to the east of Main Street, and have trunk or treating all up and down the street, and then lots of games and prizes, cake walks, everything else you could ever imagine, cupcake walks throughout their activity center there at the First Baptist Church's Center, 219 East Avenue B. Their Harvest Festival, Wednesday, October the 29th, 6 until 7 p.m. Trunk or treat games. Please join the First Baptist Church for their Harvest Festival this year. That's tonight. Everyone is invited. Also notice that the DeShazo Elementary School are sponsoring their annual trunk or reading, which will go on from 5 until 6 p.m. there at DeShazo Elementary School. And it will be in their east parking lot, and that is always a lot of fun. Then on Halloween, I did run across this online, that they're not going to have Boo on the Boulevard this year, that they will be a trick-or-treating event at the Terror at 5T Center on Friday, October 31st from 6 until 9 p.m. That is the 5T Elite Event Center, which is sort of new over on the north side of Muleshoe. 300 West Austin Street is the address of that event center. And bring all your kids from 6 until 9 p.m. for trick-or-treating and lots of games and fun at the Terror at 5T, 300 West Austin Street. Make sure to bring your kids by my house here at 1011 West 3rd Street. Lots of fun going on. I have a alien scene in the front yard, and a scary cemetery around the front porch, and a jump scare with a spider. And so come by 1011 West 3rd on Friday evening as well at dark for Halloween, and lots of nice tricks and treats we'll be giving away courtesy of Gillam Advertising and myself. So lots of fun for Halloween here in the Muleshoe area starting tonight with the Harvest Fest, 6 until 7 p.m. at the First Baptist Church Activity Center. Then the trunk or reading over at DeShazo Elementary in the east parking lot. That's from 5 until 6 p.m. Then the Terror at 5T this coming Friday, Halloween, October 31st from 6 until 9 p.m. And then beginning at dark at 7 on. Make sure to bring your kids to my house, 1011 West 3rd Street, for a great Halloween scene out in the yard and the front porch, and a scary spider jump scare at the front door. So we hope you and your whole family have a wonderful Halloween, and stay safe. Of course, Saturday will begin November. Can you believe we're already at November? Tuesday, November the 11th, you are invited to a happy Thanksgiving lunch going on at the Bailey County Senior Center, Main and Avenue D, right here in Muleshoe, from 11 until 2 p.m. Tuesday, November the 11th. It's $12 per plate, cash, check, card, or Zelle. Tickets available at 319 South Main Street, the Senior Center, or call 806-272-4969 for more information. They'll take dine-in, deliveries, or takeout. Tickets required for dine-in and takeout, and available at the door. That's Tuesday, November 11th, 11 a.m. till 2 p.m. The big Thanksgiving luncheon at the Bailey County Senior Center. Everyone is invited. Now at the Senior Center, they serve lunch at a reduced cost every weekday, Monday through Friday, at the Senior Center, 319 South Main Street. And for lunch tomorrow, on Thursday, October 30th, roast beef with brown gravy, mashed potatoes, sliced carrots, Waldorf salad, sliced whole wheat bread, banana pudding. Then fish or chicken strips is the normal Friday meal for Halloween, October 31st. On Monday, November the 3rd, herb roasted chicken thighs, potato wedges, whole wheat roll, margarine, peas and carrots, strawberries with whipped topping. Then Tuesday, November 4th, smothered pork chops, Southwest potato, squash casserole, carrot and raisin salad, cornbread, and sliced peaches. Then Wednesday, November the 5th, next week, chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, country gravy, stewed okra, seasoned corn, and a pumpkin square. Then Thursday, November 6th, beef stroganoff, noodles, whole wheat roll, margarine, mixed vegetables, and a winter fruit cup. Then Friday, November the 7th, their normal fish or chicken strip meal, borracho beans, green peas, tossed vegetable salad, low-cal French dressing, whole wheat roll, and a tropical fruit mix. And lunch beginning served every weekday at around 11:30 a.m. at the Bailey County Senior Center, Main and Avenue D. Well, time now for a message from our sponsor of our Muletrain news program for today, Leal's Mexican Restaurant, the original Leal's, right here in Muleshoe, 1010 West American Boulevard, where Victor, Debbie, Kika, all their wonderful employees welcome you and remind you they are open again now on Sundays, 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the original Leal's. So make it your Sunday tradition. Returns. Go to church and then come and eat a fresh, wonderful Mexican dinner at Leal's, 1010 West American Boulevard. Don't forget they have a full bar along with many mixed drinks, margaritas, along with many selections of beer now available at Leal's in Muleshoe. They have a happy hour every Saturday evening along with live entertainment inside the restaurant. They recently had a car drive through the wall there on the southwest corner of the building and damaged the restroom area, but they are trying to get that up and running, and so please forgive them as they are mitigating the disturbance there at the restaurant and get those restrooms back up and running. But Leal's is open, 1010 West American Boulevard. You are welcome every Sunday. They are open again 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. at the original Leal's, 1010 West American Boulevard, 806-272-3294. The Muleshoe Area Hospital District is pleased to announce as they have hired a new clinical services personnel director. Liz Chavez, her smiling face, will be now a member of the team at the Muleshoe Area Medical Center. She spent 20 years working in the pharmacy at United Supermarkets and is wonderful to work with. Again, Liz Chavez is the new clinical services personnel director at the hospital. Also available to see patients now is Dr. David Warner, MD. He has moved to Muleshoe last year from the Dallas-Fort Worth area and is practicing now at the Medical Clinic of Muleshoe, 701 South 1st Street. You can make an appointment with Dr. David Warner by calling 806-272-7544. Also new at the medical clinic is nurse practitioner Johnny Roberts, and I dealt with him a month ago or so, and he was wonderful to deal with. He is a new nurse practitioner at the medical clinic of Muleshoe, seeing patients 701 South 1st Street. Again, stop by, or you can call and make an appointment at 806-272-7544. New nurse practitioner Johnny Roberts and Dr. David Warner at the Medical Clinic of Muleshoe, and Liz Chavez is the new Clinical Services Personnel Director at the hospital. Well, it is time now for the weather forecast, and we did have our first official freeze here at the National Weather Service station at Channel 6 here in our backyard for Channel 6 Gilliam Advertising. We had it this morning. I reported at 8 a.m. I read the weather temps, the weather gauges, and reported it to the Weather Bureau and put it on our social media that it was our first freeze. And we even got a degree cooler than I reported after I read it at 8 a.m. as it was only it was 25 degrees at 8 a.m. And after that, after 8 a.m., we got down to 24 degrees. So we froze, had a hard freeze last night. And I know people said, well, the networks out of Lubbock, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox reported last week that Muleshoe had our first freeze, and they're right. The Muleshoe Mesonet station had a freeze last week, and but we only got down to 34 degrees here at the weather station in our backyard. That Muleshoe Mesonet station is 2 miles south of town, right off 214, and it's about where our station is as far as the distance between us and the highway, as we're on West 3rd Street. I'm going to have to drive out there sometime and check the elevation, as the elevation must be or a little bit higher there 2 miles south of town than it is here, because they usually get a little bit colder than we do here in town. But like I said, our first official freeze here at the weather station here at Channel 6 in our backyard, we got down to 24 degrees early this morning into the 8 a.m., 9 a.m. hour till the sun really came out and warmed us back up. And our average high through 29 days in October for the whole month has been 79, has been our average high, our average low 47. We've received 1 3/10 inches of rain, which is wonderful for October. And our total for the 2025 season as of right now, we have 15 inches and 12 100ths. So we will take every drop of that and be thankful. And hopefully before we set into our winter doldrums of absolutely no precipitation, we'll get a little bit more before we quite get there yet into the end of November and December, because December, January, February, even into March, many times we just barely get any moisture over the winter time. So we'll take all the rain we can get before that doldrum sets in. But 15 inches and 12 100ths here at the National Weather Service station at Channel 6 in our backyard here at 1011 West 3rd in Muleshoe. In August, we had 1 inch and 27 100ths. In September, we only had 47 100ths. We've really been quite a bit drier here toward the end of the 2025 year, as we had a really, really nice wet early and middle, late, and spring and early summer. And as we really got into the middle of summer and the end of summer, it sort of dried off. As you can tell, in September, only 47 100ths of 1 inch of rain, 1 inch and 27 in August, and 1 inch and 3/10 now through 29 days in October. Looking at our weather forecast, we will have a forecast as well for trick-or-treating this coming Friday for Halloween. This afternoon, Wednesday, sunny, high near 59 degrees, northwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. We're going to have the same thing happen tonight as we did last night, but the front has already moved through the area, so hopefully the winds will calm down as the day goes on. Clear with a low around 25 degrees, northwest winds around 5 miles per hour, becoming southwest in the evening, so the winds will die down quite a bit, but the cold will be here again through tonight, so look for another hard freeze tonight. Thursday, sunny, high near 69 degrees, west-southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming northeast. Thursday afternoon, clear Thursday night, low around 28. Northeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Then Halloween on Friday, look for a little bit warmer day, mostly sunny, high near 71, light and variable winds becoming south-southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour in the afternoon hours. Then Friday night for Halloween trick-or-treating, partly cloudy, low around 34, so it will be cold, but not quite as cold overnight Friday, but it should be perfect Halloween fall trick-or-treating conditions for this coming Friday evening for the Muleshoe area. Southeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, becoming northeast after midnight. Make sure to bring the kids by Gillam Advertising for some great tricks and treats. A wonderful Halloween scene in the yard and on the front porch. 1011 West 3rd this coming Halloween night. Sunny on Saturday. November 1st, high near 66 degrees, north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then clear Saturday night, low around 35, east winds around 5 miles per hour, becoming south-southwest after midnight. Sunny on Sunday, high near 74 degrees. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday night, clear, low around 40 degrees. Sunday night, Monday, sunny, high near 77. Monday night, mostly clear, low around 38. Tuesday, sunny, high near 80. So that's the weather forecast for the next 7 days here for the Muleshoe area, including our Halloween trick-or-treating forecast. Looks like it's going to be beautiful fall weather. Not much wind now after that cold front has moved through, but we have had our first freeze, our first hard freeze, all in one here at the Weather Service Station as we drop down to 24 degrees this morning here in at 1011 West 3rd Street in Muleshoe at the Weather Service Station that we keep for the National Weather Service for Channel 6. Some more fall activities for you as the 5th grade will have their fall music program called Forward. They'll perform it next week at the Carrie Moore Auditorium at High School on Thursday, November the 6th at 1:45 p.m. If you can't be there, we will be there to film it, and that will be our Meet Your Neighbor program for November. And it is directed by Susan White, the DeShazo music specialist. And thanks so much to Susan for inviting us always to these great programs. That's the 5th grade fall music program. Forward will be performed Thursday, November the 6th next week at 1:45 p.m. at the Carrie Moore Auditorium at Muleshoe High School. Of course, everyone is welcome, but as I mentioned, we will be filming that for you, and it will be our Meet Your Neighbor program for November. Well, St. Anne's Catholic Church in Beene always has a wonderful Thanksgiving turkey meal. Their 65th annual one will be Sunday, November the 2nd, this coming weekend. They'll begin serving at 11:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. That's Central Standard Time, Texas time, at the St. Anne's Parish Hall on 3rd Street in Beene. And if you've never eaten with them, you should try it at least once in your lifetime because it is a wonderful homemade Thanksgiving meal. They will be serving turkey and dressing, creamed potatoes and gravy, green beans, homemade bread, cranberry sauce, desserts, tea, and coffee. Donations is $15 for adults, $6 for children. Under 6, takeout plates will be available at no additional charge. That's the St. Anne's Catholic Church 65th Annual Turkey Dinner will be this coming Sunday, November the 2nd, 11:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. at the St. Anne's Parish Hall on 3rd Street in Beene. Again, they'll be serving turkey and dressing, creamed potatoes and gravy, green beans, homemade bread, cranberry sauce, desserts, tea, and coffee. Everyone is invited. On your prayer list today, please remember Bert and Larry Combs, Louis Carlos Saenz, Dick and Sandy Chitwood as they've recently moved from Muleshoe, Emily Bomer Towson, Cliff Black, Peggy Seagroves, Darlene Henry, Joe Bledsoe, Janie and Joseph Carpenter, Leela Copley, Dolores Harvey, Eddie Morris, Janice Snell, Bill Crenshaw, and Donna Perry need to be on your prayer list today. Please remember those who've recently lost a loved one, including the family of Orvdie Burris, the family of Pat Beene, the family of Mason Leal, the family of Rita Mimi Hawkins, the family of Ed Cox. Remember the family of Celia Hernandez, the family of Jerry Lee Mudford, and the family of Marianne Arzola. Well, it's about time for us to go on this edition of the Muletrain News, brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. You can hear our latest Muletrain News programs free of charge on demand on our website, muleshoetv.com. Click on the Muletrain News link at the top center of the front page.
I'm Tumbleweed Smith. Halloween stories come from unusual occurrences. Details in a moment on The Sound of Texas.
The Sound of Texas is brought to you here on MuleshoeTV.com by Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, with offices in Muleshoe at 610 East American Boulevard, as well as in Morton at 1744 State Highway 114. They're celebrating rural electrification right here in the Muleshoe area through Bailey County Electric since 1939. They're owned by the members that they serve. Call 806-272-4504. Check them out online at bcecoop.com. The board of directors, the members, the employees, the manager, CEO David Markle, all hope you enjoy this Sound of Texas with Tumbleweed Smith.
Alan Morris lives near Amarillo and creates videos from stories he writes. He does it as a hobby and puts them on YouTube. One of his stories is about Halloween.
The last trick-or-treater had knocked on her door about an hour ago. She went about her business for about another hour. Then there came a small rapping on her storm door. There stood a little man clutching his bowler hat to his chest. He couldn't have been more than 3 feet tall, and there was something strange about everything about him.
He completes the story and tells how he got the idea.
That story is about this little man that knocks on the door, and he asks the woman, "Do you want to see what I can do with my long sticky green fingers?" And she says no, and she slams the door on him. And then he comes back the next night and he says, "Do you want to see what I can do with my long sticky green fingers?" And she says no. The first night he looks like a black and white photograph, and the next night he looks like a little flatter. By the third night she notices there's a string that goes from the edge of his hat up and into his ear. And the fourth night, she noticed that that's not a string, that's a cobweb. And he's holding his hat, and he's a little flatter and a little dustier. And he's asking her, "Do you want to see what I can do with my long, sticky green fingers?" She finally says, yes. If I say yes, and you show me what you can do with your long, sticky green fingers, will you just leave me alone? And while she's saying that, she notices a little spider runs into his ear. And she's horrified by this, and she looks him in the eyes, and she sees the spider run behind one of his eyes and get to the other eye and stop and turn and look at her through the little man's eye. And then the spider turns and disappears into the darkness of his mind. And she says, "Yes, but please show me what you can do with your long, sticky green fingers." And he said, She slams the door. And that's the end of the story. The origin of that story is I was telling some stories, and a little kid came running up, and he said, "Do you want to see what I can do with my fingers?" And I was like a third grader or something. And I sort of ignored him a little bit, and he goes, no, mister, do you want to see what I can do with my fingers? And I said, "Okay, what?" And he went, and he ran off.
Alan Morris of Zeta, a small place near Amarillo. I'm Tumbleweed Smith with the Sound of Texas.